Red Bull is facing intense pressure in the 2025 Formula One season, and one of the most sensitive issues is directly related to Japanese driver Yuki Tsunoda. Has the Austrian team's tolerance finally reached its breaking point? A decision that could completely change the landscape of the championship is being deliberated in the corridors of Milton Keynes, and the information that has just emerged is more revealing than you might imagine. To understand the magnitude of the issue, it is necessary to return to the beginning of this season. Yuki Tsunoda joined Red Bull with a virtually impossible task: to take the place of Liam Lawson after only 2 weekends of competition. The pressure was monumental, expectations were sky-high, and the RB21 car was not exactly being friendly to the Japanese driver. The result? Only 7 points scored in 10 races. For a team accustomed to fighting for titles, this is absolutely unacceptable. However, the situation became even more critical when Helmut Marko, Red Bull's unyielding motorsport advisor, decided to break his silence. In his weekly column, Marko revealed that intense discussions are taking place within the team and that Tsunoda is working with sports psychologists to try to reverse this desperate situation. When a team like Red Bull needs to resort to psychological support for a driver, you know the problem is much deeper than it appears. And it doesn't end there. The numbers are merciless and reveal the harsh reality of what Tsunoda is facing. While Max Verstappen, even with all the difficulties with his car, still manages to fight for podiums and important points, Tsunoda seems to be in a constant battle just to score points. The difference in performance between the two Red Bull drivers has become one of the most discussed topics in the paddock, and this is generating speculation about possible changes in the team's lineup. Tsunoda's history in the category also raises questions. Since his arrival in Formula One in 2021, the Japanese driver has always shown flashes of speed, but has never managed to maintain the consistency needed to be in a top team. His previous stints have been characterized by ups and downs, and now, at Red Bull, this inconsistency is being amplified by pressure and expectations. Did Red Bull make an error in judgment by promoting him so quickly? The pressure has intensified even further when we look at the overall championship picture. McLaren has taken the lead with Oscar Piastri in command with 234 points, closely followed by Lando Norris with 226. The Woking-based team has 460 points in the Constructors' Championship, creating a situation where every point lost by Red Bull becomes even more painful. And Tsunoda, who was supposed to be part of the solution, is becoming part of the problem. Comparisons with other drivers who have passed through Red Bull are inevitable. Let's remember Sebastian Vettel, who arrived young and quickly adapted to the high-pressure environment, or even Daniel Ricciardo, who for years was the perfect partner for Verstappen. Tsunoda needs to find that same adaptation, but time is running out and the results are not coming. Red Bull is not known for its infinite patience, and everyone knows it. But Marko, known for his sometimes brutal frankness, has shown a more optimistic side in his recent statements. He pointed out that there was an improvement in Tsunoda's performance during the weekend at Silverstone, where the Japanese driver managed to start in 11th place and showed a smaller gap to Verstappen in free practice. Is this the light at the end of the tunnel that Red Bull has been waiting for, or just a momentary illusion? The Silverstone circuit has always been an important test for any driver. The high-speed corners, elevation changes, and the need for total confidence in the car make it a real laboratory for assessing a driver's potential. If Tsunoda was able to show progress there, it could be a sign that the psychological work is paying off. But one swallow does not make a summer, and Red Bull needs consistency, not isolated flashes. What makes this situation even more intriguing is the timing. We are halfway through the season, with 12 Grand Prix races and 4 sprint races still to go. There are 300 points available in the GPs and 32 in the sprints. For a team like Red Bull, which never gives up on a fight, there is still enough time for an epic comeback. But that will only be possible if Tsunoda can find his form and start contributing effectively to the Constructors' Championship. The psychological pressure on Tsunoda must be immense. Imagine being at Red Bull, one of the most successful teams in recent Formula One history, having to deal with constant comparisons to Max Verstappen, one of the greatest talents in the sport. Add to that the pressure from the media, the fans, and the team itself, and you have a perfect recipe for what experts call pressure paralysis. The environment within Red Bull is also unique. The culture of maximum performance, the demand for immediate results, and the constant presence of figures such as Helmut Marko and Christian Horner create an environment where only the mentally strongest can thrive. Tsunoda needs to prove that he has the mental strength and resilience that separates good drivers from great drivers. Working with sports psychologists is nothing new in Formula One, but when it becomes public knowledge, it usually indicates that the situation has reached a critical point. Big names in the sport have gone through similar processes, and many have managed to turn things around. The question is, does Tsunoda have enough time for this transformation to happen, or is Red Bull already considering other options? Rumors in the paddock suggest that Red Bull's patience may be at its limit. The team has a history of making quick changes when results don't come, and Tsunoda knows this better than anyone. Each race becomes a trial by fire. Each point earned a small victory in the battle for survival. Marko has made it clear that improvements are coming for the Belgian Grand Prix at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. This could be the opportunity Tsunoda needs to show that the psychological work and intensive discussions within the team are having an effect. Spa is a circuit where driver confidence makes all the difference, and it could be the ideal stage for a possible redemption. Spa-Francorchamps is more than a circuit. It is a test of character. Corners such as Eau Rouge and Rédillon require absolute courage, and the Pouhon section demands pinpoint precision. If Tsunoda can show speed and confidence at Spa, it could be the turning point of his season. But if he fails again, discussions about his future at Red Bull could intensify dramatically. What is at stake goes far beyond Tsunoda's career. Red Bull needs two drivers scoring consistently to have any chance of catching McLaren in the Constructors' Championship. Every race lost, every opportunity wasted, every point left behind could be the difference between the title and a bitter second place. Tsunoda's situation at Red Bull has become one of the most fascinating stories of the season. It's a story of pressure, expectations, sports psychology, and above all, second chances in a sport that rarely offers third chances. Will the Japanese driver be able to justify the trust placed in him by the team and Marko himself? Or are we witnessing the final chapters of his time at Red Bull? What do you think will happen to Tsunoda? Can he turn things around? Or is the pressure too much? Leave your opinion in the comments and click on the video appearing on your screen, because there I'll tell you how this other bombshell in Formula One could change everything behind the scenes for the team's next season.